Hi everyone, this is Bella from Unlock Your Design. It's time to take a look at the astro weather for this full moon happening on March 7th, where we have the sun in gate 63 and the moon in gate 64. We're going to start with an overview of archetype 63. And then we're going to look at the astrological chart for the full moon and also the Jinki chart. In the 64 doors, we call archetype 63 the detective. In human design, this is the gate of doubt. In the I Ching, we call this hexagram after completion. In the Jinki frequency band, it goes from the shadow of doubt to the city of truth, and it's the pathway of inquiry. In the I Ching, we are in the part of the wheel where all the hexagrams have the fire trigram on the bottom. So yang, yin, yang. For this specific hexagram, we have water over fire. When we make the Jinki geometry, we're looking at water over water, which is the 29, fire over fire, which is the 30, and we are looking at the 63 as a combination of these two elemental energies. In the shadow frequency, doubt is half-hearted desire, gift frequency, inquiry is commitment to lightness, Siddhic frequency, truth is devotional rapture. In the astrology, we are in Pisces. Pisces is the healer, the mystic, and the poet. It serves the spirit as compassionate healer and mystic merger. It's mutable water. Pisces is the water we are made of, the mystery that connects us to one heart, the waters through which we merge. In modern astrology, it's connected to the 12th house, and the ruler is Neptune. We are in the quarter of initiation, where purpose is fulfilled through mind. You also see that in this quarter, we only have one channel that's defined by all these gates, and that is the 5125, which is the channel of initiation. In the body graph, the 63 lives in the head center. This is a pressure center. It has to do with inspiration and sense making. The shadow is pressure. The gift is seeking, and the city is consciousness. Looking at the whole channel, we call it a channel of logic, a design of mental ease mixed with doubt. This is a projected channel. The theme here, you are the healthiest, using your mental gifts in service to others, rather than understanding your own life. There will always be someone who needs your clarity and inspiration. Looking at the keywords for the whole channel, 63.4, we have the shadow of nagging, which comes from doubt and intolerance. Then we have the gift of reason, which comes from inquiry and understanding. And then we have the city of meaning, which comes from truth and forgiveness. The programming partner, which is where we have the full moon, is the 64, which is in Virgo. Here, the frequency band, confusion, imagination, illumination. And then, like we saw before, the 63 in Pisces. On the other side, doubt, inquiry, and truth. You also see that those are mirror opposites in the actual structure of the hexagram. So wherever the 63 has an open line, the 64 is going to have a closed line and vice versa. We see that the 63 lies within the collective circuitry, in the understanding circuit or the logic circuit, and here the main keynote is sharing. Here we have the astrological chart for the full moon, and as we said, we have this opposition between the moon and the sun on this axis between Pisces and Virgo. Here we see a harmonious connection between the sun and Uranus. The sun is the planet of vitality, and Uranus is the planet of revolutionary enlightenment. So with the sun and Uranus communicating, the light is on expressing ourselves in a unique and progressive way. And their energies can flow together, so there are new possibilities and new connections. Then we have the moon, our instinctive awareness, in trine to Uranus. So here there can be a cooperation between our emotions and our insight. With this opposition in Virgo and in Pisces, we both have the more tangible and physical energy in our everyday life in Virgo, and then what's beyond what we can touch here in Pisces. A full moon is when we are ready to let go of something. There can be a physical detox, but also a cleaning of our environment, whether that's our house, our office, our closet. With all the energies on this side of the chart between the last sign and the first sign, and also Saturn changing signs into Pisces, just a few hours before the full moon, there's a lot of focus and concentration on all the Pisces themes. There's also deep work that's happening in Aries with our identity, with us stepping up to our true authority, with us taking initiatives for something new. So with the moon here in Virgo, it feels like a balancing, that there is some kind of cleansing. There is something that needs to be brought to completion in this axis of the epilogue of the gene keys or the I Ching with the 63 and 64. What needs to be brought to completion? What needs to be surrendered? What needs to be detoxed? What needs to be organized? What needs to be felt in order for us to truly be able to do the work that we're doing here in Pisces, in what's beyond the tangible, the spiritual, the connection to our emotions and to our soul, and then the much more tangible in Aries that has to do with our empowerment. In the gene key chart for the full moon, the activation sequence is made up of the detective archetype, the artist archetype, the hypnotist archetype, and the goodwill archetype. In human design, we call this the left angle cross of dominion. Gate 63, doubt. Gate 64, confusion. Gate 26, the egoist. Gate 45, the gatherer. You have the energy to step in and take power or authority. This is a transpersonal drive. There is karma involved, perhaps personal, or perhaps to protect those being taken advantage of. The irony here is that by taking over the situation, it may make it better, but it also has the potential to make it worse. In Ra's Red Book, the explanation is, people whose strong intellect is powerful enough to take over in a given circumstance, capable of creating doubt and confusion in order to take dominion. That sounds a little bit dangerous. The full moon is happening in a 6th line, and it's the 6th line of the 63 and the 64, which are the last two keys, the epilogue, the embodiment of the perfect geometry of yin and yang. The 63 is water over fire, and the 64 is fire over water. And we have the big perspective, the overview of these two. And it's time to take responsibility for that inner geometry, the sacred union, allowing the yin and the yang to come into union inside of us. We know that the way there can create confusion, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. That's the work that we need to do. The work through fire and water, the work through Shakti, and awakening the parts of us that have been dormant. The 2nd line, the radiance and the purpose, is telling us to trust our body, to trust our flow, our ease, to gather with other people where there's reciprocity. When we do that, there is a possibility for liberation in relationship. The 39.6 is called the troubleshooter in the line companion. It's here to find a solution to any problems. So again, to lean into relationship, lean in where it's blocked. That's the dilemma of the 39. It feels those blockages and it wants to flush them, create dynamism, even if it is by provocation, so that the spirit can come through, so that there can be liberation. The 39 is not afraid of that provocation. It does it for love. It stays for love. And then we see that we have Venus in the 51. Powerful Aries energy, initiating energy, connected to the heart. We have a lot of versatility where the purpose, the EQ, and the vocation are all in Gemini gates. A lot of curiosity, a lot of movement. And at the same time, this vocation being the core wound, where the 35 is hunger and the 5 is guilt. So in this full moon, as we're coming more into that perfect geometry of yin and yang, with the 63 and the 64, it's important to not fall victims to that hunger that is driving us. The thing of it's never enough. We just want to consume the next thing, which is part of the distraction of not coming back to the heart, but trying to fill that hunger from the outside in. And then the 5th line, of course, when we live that way, it's going to create guilt. And it can feel like it's so heavy. I often say that thing about the spaghettis. You don't put oil in it. And then all the spaghettis are in a big lump. You can't even start taking one. They're all together and you have to throw the whole thing out. That's the 5th line core wound. So you have to learn to forgive. This is connected to the 4, which is the harmonic gate to where the sun is right now. The 35 really want is to be the main character, the heroine of their own movie. But the way we do that is to come back to our naturalness, the love of the self in the 10th gene key. And the third line is about pleasure, understanding, dynamism, playfulness. And in all the dynamics that are going on in this full moon, when we look at the pearl and the culture, which is our law, the pearl is overall law, and the culture is more the everyday law of relating and also our environment. This is where we get the guidelines. And it says in the pearl, 21, stepping up to your true authority. 5th line, speaking your truth. It doesn't matter what people are going to project on you with the 5th line. You're still here to be the heretic, stepping up to your own authority. Living your life, being the hero, the heroine, being your naturalness, so that you have the alignment of your design, so that you dare to create inner union, meet the other, liberate the blockages, initiate something new for you and for the world. And then the culture is showing us that this authority of the 21 and the speaking our truth is not against anybody else. We're still remaining innocent. We're not manipulating anybody. We're still seeking reciprocity in the 2nd line and partnership. And if you look at the culture and the IQ, Venus and Jupiter, they are creating this channel of initiation where we are coming more full into our true self, from the small self of the ego to the big self, the heart, and the connection up to the higher chakras. To not live from survival or volatile emotion, but to include the whole chakra pillar, to allow that Shakti from the 63 and the 64 to actually move through all your chakras, to be alive, coming back to the aliveness. That's so much what this 39 is about. And it's telling us that it's through relationship. The 63 and the 64 is the human way. It's not just looking here at the 1 and the 2, the prologue, the yin and the yang. No, it's the yin and the yang in embodied form. Even if there is hunger, even if there are blockages, even if there is dominion, even if there are tricksters, it's still worth it. It's worth it to be human. It's worth it to find your role in this world. And we can't really play it safe anymore. It's becoming more urgent to step up to truth, step up to our true authority, without manipulating anybody else. As Saturn has gone into Pisces, and we see in this full moon, the 45-21 being a black channel, there's going to be a new way of manifesting in the world, of the outer structures. We also have Pluto this month that's going in to Aquarius. So we might start to see what are the new ways of manifesting in the world. What are the things they're going to need to fall apart so that they can fall together in a better way? And that's part of that Virgo reorganization or detox that we see with this full moon. As I said, the pearl and the culture are our Jupiter activations, the law that we need to follow in order to expand. Ashley and I are doing a free masterclass tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time that you're all invited to. And if you post your chart in the Facebook event, we'll also take time at the end to look at some charts and weave your Jupiter and your Saturn. It's very important to be aware of those dynamics in order to keep growing, keep stepping up to that authority, keep expanding. And with that, I wish you a powerful full moon. Please let go of anything you don't need and create space to embody more of aliveness, that true authority, so that you can walk and penetrate the world as who you are. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.